Hi, everybody. Welcome to Half the National Average, to Habit Hack number 177. And look who I have. He is my only second-time guest. Gregg Potter.
Cheers. It's 12:30 in the morning.
It's 12:24. 12:24, but that's how we do things. You know, I show up at his house in Wisconsin at 12. Well, actually, it was 11
It was
o'clock.
early enough that we went out all night.
It was early enough that we went out all night, and it was the first time I ever put money in a man's jock string.
Really?
That night, it was
of all those years that you
all
would
those
go
years
out with me in West Hollywood.
It was the only time I ever was forced to put $1 in somebody's jock strap.
She said forced.
Well, somebody gave it to me, and I'm shy. You guys know that. And yeah. I think I was also the only female in that whole club.
I don't think you realize this. My assistant, who was with us that night,
yeah,
Allie, she lives here in LA. Sorry, that's a whole side note.
To me, what the heck?
I'll connect you. Anyway,
okay.
Hi, I'm going to commandeer this habit hack.
Habit hack 177.
Do you have a name for it?
Habit hack 177.
Yeah, but be
mindful of your habits. How about that?
Okay, that's great. So I got here and we started drinking.
Yeah, we started. Yeah,
and then I mentioned this Medium article that I wrote.
Yes.
That was inspired by Michelle.
Well, inspired by my habits that I've been doing for a long time now, and it was supposed to be done years ago, but here I am, still trying to get through.
Why are you being so hard on yourself?
I know, I just am.
It wasn't years ago. You were on like habit 6 when I came on here in 2020. February of 2020 is when I came. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. February. Yeah, you're right. So it's not been years.
So
a year.
I mean, it's 2022.
2 years.
Okay, so
2 years.
I found myself recently in January going through a bunch of shit. I can say shit, right? The last take. I said the wrong word.
He said that F word.
It's fine. I had a podcast that I said that F word all the time.
Yeah, he has a potty mouth. So
anyway,
so he was going through a lot of very traumatic incidences.
Yes, and I found myself screaming at my mom on the phone. It was not pretty. There was trauma-induced stuff happening. Anyway, but then I hung up the phone. I was like, well, I did not show up the way that I wanted to show up, and I was holding on to it all day long. And so when I got to bed that night, I decided that I was going to write in a notebook, because I had this tiny little notebook that I've not been using, and I answered 3 questions. 1, did I show up authentic today? And if not, what was the time that I did not? I did not ask myself, whoa, like what would you have done differently? Because that doesn't serve us. It goes
down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, that doesn't serve us at the moment. It's just like, let's identify it so we can start flexing the muscle and knowing when. And you had very scientific terms to talk about that.
Yeah, I did. I did.
And then what was the time that I was not genuine? Or was I genuine today? And if not, what was the time? And then did I show up as the person I want to show up today? And if not, what was the time that I did not?
And I love that you ascribe a time to it, because first of all, and you have been one of my biggest supporters and fans of Half the National Average, and following my habits, doing habits, sharing habits with me, calling me on the side when I didn't do habits, like, Michelle, are you okay? Are you alive? Something's going on. And I was like, no, Gregg Potter, I'm not okay. And thank you so much for checking in on me. Because my neighbors, they might find me because of a smell. You never know. Like, I live alone.
Oh my God.
What? It could happen. I could fall in my head. You never
I live
know.
by myself too. I get it.
Yeah, you get it, right? So he checks on me. Thank you very much. But I love the fact that he does it with frequency. So that's and that you've been doing habits now for, you've done habits before. We've all done habits before. We're both creators.
Oh my gosh.
But really,
like when I got into a running habit, and this one was like, let's run at 2:30 in the morning before we go to our stores.
Oh yeah. That totally sounds like something I would do. I still run at 2 in the morning. So you guys already know my habit that if I pay myself first, so if I have to be at work at 4, I got to get up at 2 because I need to pay myself.
Right.
I can't use the best part of my recovery glucose on work. Hell no. I got to use it on me. Right? Hell yeah. Okay, so frequency every day. And I just love this habit hack of mindfulness because so many people do habit hacks. And we talked about this before. Like, you do habits on external things that you want to do versus this is a really, truly inspiring habit hack or habit. It's not a hack, but a habit of changing inside out. And and what I was saying is that when you actually ask yourself those 3 questions every single day, what you're doing is you're bookmarking them. And your brain actually is like a network. And so as soon as he bookmarks, like, when was the time period that I was disingenuous, or when was I not authentic, or what was the third one?
Not showing up the way I want to show up.
When did I not show up the way I want to show up? Then the next time it happens, it actually will trigger it. Your brain, your subconscious will kick it up and be like, hey, this is what you already put attention toward. I think you're doing it again. And you kind of do. And even if you do it again, the third time, you're just like, stop doing this. This is not who I am.
Right. And the way we do it, because I facilitate so much in DEI work, is, when we learn about our biases, once we identify it, then we can start flexing the muscle to, like, that's a bias. I'm not going to say this racial thing, or I'm not going to judge a gay man or woman, or whatever the bias is. I'm not going to, like, assume that an Asian person is perfect at math, like, whatever.
We are.
But that's checking. But it's flexing the muscle,
and it's true. And and the other thing that I would just say is, like, being graceful with yourself too, not like beating yourself up every day. And that's why I talked about when you're creating a habit, especially one of mindfulness. You do not want to beat yourself up, because that scares your limbic system. That scares the area in your brain that is always geared toward fight or flight. So I like that you're not beating yourself. What could have I done? What are all the things I could have done better? Which is kind of putting yourself. You already did it.
We're already doing it.
It's already done. Yeah, it's already done. But versus, can I identify the time? I love that. That's great. Can I identify the time that it was not authentic? When was the moment? And then it bookmarks your brain. And then the next time. And pretty soon your brain will catch it beforehand, because your brain kind of knows it. That's what bias is. Bias is subconscious brain thought. So now, you triggered something in me. So I have a new employee, and I just wanted to say she is and that's not accurate, right? But they identify as they and them. And it is so extremely hard for me. And it's extremely hard just because you have a lifelong habit of just not even having to put energy.
Of unassuming gender.
Yeah. And so now, like, actually having to pull glucose out to pause and they, them, it does take a lot of effort. But I think it takes also a lot of grace from the other person, just like, it's okay.
Also grace to yourself, though.
Grace towards myself, yeah.
And the funny thing is, in that example, and it can be easily equated to other examples, is often we're already doing something. And if you listen to my new podcast, 20-Minute Collaborations,
which I'm going to be on
we look at things that we're
5 minutes.
already doing and use those for skills towards creating more impactful collaborations. But the reason I bring this up right now is because, how many times have you said they for a group of people?
Right.
Men, women.
Correct.
A mix.
All the time.
And we use they all the time anyway. So what's the big change? It's not that big of a change.
It's identifying.
And there are other things all the time that we need to make changes that we think are much bigger than they actually are, because we're doing it in different ways.
Yeah, but we've also used it a million times, seeing a single female and using that word she. So it's outweighed as far as the practice. And so it's just practice. That's all it is. It's practice. And so it's just frequency. Right. The more frequent that I practice the they them, the faster that I'll get at identifying that person with the pronoun that's appropriate for them. And that's big work. It's big work.
So thank you guys for listening
to Habit Hack 177. What is it again?
Did you not catch that?
Oh.
I purposely
Oh,
said
did you
thank
say
you
that?
guys.
Oh, you said, oh, you were being jerk.
It was a lesson.
Oh, you're always teaching. How much? We're already past. We missed it. You missed a lesson. I'll have to
No, it was